Good morning. It is thrilling to have us all together, one district in one space with one shared vision of providing engaging learning to every student. Our group is amazing, but I would like to take just a moment to recognize our newest members of the collective, our beginning teachers. If you are a BT1, BT2, or BT3, take a moment to stand so we can recognize you. Thank you for choosing Asheboro City Schools. We are committed to supporting you and celebrating you today and throughout the school year. This morning, a very special BT will take the stage, our 2023 Apple of Excellence Award winner for outstanding performance as a beginning teacher, Ms. Myranda Reza from Balfour Elementary School. Myranda Reza earned degrees from Randolph Community College and the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Myranda is a proud Balfour Bulldog where she joyfully teaches first grade. When she's not working hard on developing and delivering engaging lessons, you may also find her on the tennis court, serving as the assistant coach for the Asheboro High School girls tennis team. Myranda has a passion for equity. Her principal, Mr. Chris Tuff, said that Myranda has lived out her passion by ensuring equity of voice in her class, in her lessons, advocating for all of her learners, and utilizing her bilingual skills to not only assist her multilingual learners, but promote bilingualism for everyone. We are so happy to have Ms. Reza here in Asheboro City Schools. So beginning teachers, Balfour Bulldogs, and all of Asheboro City Schools, let's welcome Ms. Myranda Reza to the stage to share a few words with us.
I'm Myranda Reza, and going into my first year, fresh out of college, I was excited to finally decorate and make a classroom my own, eager to get my new career started, ready to take on the teaching role as a 23-year-old woman, thinking I was ready to take on the teaching role and all that entails. Boy, did I have no idea what that first year would bring me. At the end of it, I would hear my admin coworker say to me, "You did it, you survived." And at some point, that's what it felt like. Like I was just trying my best to survive, to make it through one more day. They say you don't know what you don't know, and this couldn't be more true. There was a lot of newness I had to quickly pick up on and learn, things I couldn't have known from a course in college or have yet to experience, like using M&Ms for a fun math lesson and then seeing a student from the corner of my eye pick something off the floor, eat it, and say, "That wasn't an M&M." It was a spider. He's fine, more protein in his body. A lot of you are veteran teachers, and it's probably been a couple years since you graduated college, and you have many tools in your teacher toolbox, and you've been through many scenarios, hopefully none like a student eating a spider off your floor. When my students first came to me, they were shy, they didn't want to raise their hand, and not all of them. We all have that one, right? But a lot of them were so quiet and they just seemed so innocent. As the year progressed, a lot of them blossomed out of their shy demeanor. Don't get me wrong, I had a great group, but there was that one who could influence at least two other students, that one who always knew exactly what to say or do to irk me almost on the daily. I tried almost everything under the sun to foster an environment that was cohesive to all students. And eventually I took time out of my day and I sat down with a student. And they shared that someone told them that they were a bad kid and this stuck with them. I sat down on the carpet one day with my class and told them there is no such thing as a bad kid, but there are bad choices. Having this conversation with my first graders opened them up to giving each other a chance. I noticed a change in the dynamic. They were interacting with different classmates, not always the same ones. And at the end of the year, this student, my one, had matured so much and showed so much kindness towards their classmates. And not always, we had our bad days still, and some terrible days full of bad choices, but they improved. They didn't see themselves as a bad kid anymore. And sometimes it takes having these conversations with your students to let them know that you want to see the better in them, that you're there for them, and that they deserve to be here just as much as any other student. We truly don't know what a student struggles through or what our students carry or how their home life is. Sometimes you truly are the best part of their day. You bring consistency and structure, assurance to them, and sometimes you're the only source of love that they have. I remind myself of this when I feel like they're annoying me or feel like I'm about to raise my voice to my class. I didn't want my students to feel like their teacher yelled at them all the time or nagged constantly. To correct behaviors, I would remind them of the rules and expectations that they made for their classroom while still being understanding why a student might be falling asleep in class or noticing when a student is a little off that day. I wouldn't make excuses for them. I had reasonable expectations that all of my students could meet, but I was empathetic towards them too. It wasn't always deep conversations and implementation of the curriculum in my class either. I made sure we had a fun time too. Leading them down the hallway, speed walking, or even running, telling them they wouldn't get in trouble as long as Miss Reza was the leader. Giving them a fun Friday with special treats, activities, or rewards. Being silly with them, doing the brain breaks alongside them, singing our favorite songs and dancing when appropriate, and definitely not during a lesson. We had a blast in Miss Reza's class, especially when we went on field trips. Now, in my first classroom that was truly my own, I was fortunate enough to have a range of different personalities, cultures, and needs in my classroom. I never knew the true importance of representation until this past year. Being Hispanic and bilingual was a huge help in helping the majority of my parents to be more involved. To me, I believe that being able to speak their home language and help increase their confidence and that they felt confident to speak in and able to express their concerns and needs helped both of us to keep communication open, and not just for my parents, but my ML students as well. To be able to help them understand what I'm asking them, to complete and communicate with them so that they could tell me what they needed help with. Being Mexican and bringing in food some of my students ate at home and sprinkling tahini on fruit encouraged them to eat what they wanted to and not feel judged by their peers because their food looked weird or different. I taught my students to never say they don't like something or think something is gross because it could be someone else's favorite thing. Instead, we just said, it's not my favorite. Being Hispanic is not the only way we can be representational in the classroom. Experiences matter too. I was so blessed to have a little type 1 diabetic in my classroom this past year. Oh, buddy, I get emotional. All right, give me a second, guys. I need a pause. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in 3rd grade, and throughout my academics, I would get stares for taking out my insulin pump or injecting myself with my insulin shots. Because people are curious, and every time my pump would beep, everyone looked around the room and I would be embarrassed to check on it. I had a teacher express to my mom that she didn't feel comfortable with me being in her class, and I get it. It can be overwhelming and stressful to deal with a student who has a condition you're not familiar with. But my main goal for this student specifically of mine was to make them feel normal. To be able to stop the weird looks and make them feel understood. To know what it feels like to be shaky or super thirsty because of their blood sugars. We would give insulin together, check our sugars, make the other students aware of our condition, and they were so kind and helpful to make sure that no one pulled on our tubing by accident or would let me know on the playground they heard the beeps. This student was my diet buddy, my diet bestie. I might not have had this experience if I wasn't teaching. Not only did I try to make the student feel comfortable, they made me feel more comfortable and confident as a diabetic. It gave me hope that kids can be kind, they can be independent, strong, and welcoming. And if I could give each of my students a moment to feel normal by eating foods they like, celebrating their holidays, bringing understanding to their condition, or just by relating to them, I'm going to try my best to do so. was so fortunate to work alongside incredible people who were willing to go out of their way to make sure I felt like I could be a teacher and make a difference. Who would ask if I needed anything or just wanted to have a vent session with them. Who would bring me the resources I needed or show me where to find them. I was truly blessed with an amazing team. Amazing instructional assistant and mentor teacher who helped to get me to this point in my teaching career. Not just the women on my grade level, but throughout Balfour, and the best admin team that would offer me opportunities to grow, becoming a more confident teacher. Without the support and reassurances from my coworkers and admin team, I wouldn't have made it as far as I had in my first year, let alone make it in one piece. I owe a lot of my success to them, but I also know it took a lot for me to get here as well. Never would I have imagined winning Apple of Excellence, especially seeing who the other BTs were, just incredible human beings who truly are in for it for the better of their students, and Asheboro is blessed to have them. Being a first year came with a lot of learning and reminding myself that I am a human being who is a teacher. Being a teacher does not define me. I have hobbies, relationships, and responsibilities to myself outside of my teaching career. It was hard to find that balance, to plan out my day today and find the time to get all of my needs met. I couldn't be the best me in the classroom if I wasn't taking care of myself first. You can't pour from an empty cup, especially when the cup has holes. Reflecting on my first year made me realize how far I've grown as a teacher, as a coworker, as a person. I've upgraded from being a girlfriend to a fiance recently. I'm more confident in my teaching and my ability to make sure I am creating kind and determined kids that eventually will become the future. I hope my rambling hasn't bored you, but helped to give insight on a perspective of a first-year teacher. And I want to give one final thank you and name drop those who helped make it possible for me to be here giving this speech. I want to thank Chandra Manning for coordinating all the BT meetings that helped fill my tiny toolbox that's ever expanding. Mr. Tuft and Miss Andrews for being the best principals and making my first year wonderful. Miss Howe, Delgado, Pruitt, Walsh, Bauman, Miss Price, Gilliam, Saunders, and Shells for being a supportive first grade team and welcoming me and all of my teeny bopper slang into the team, including but not limiting to, that's Cat. Sus, bussin', referring to lunch that was straight gas, and something or someone being out of pocket. I want to thank Miss Langdon and Miss Johnson for supporting me and guiding me throughout my first year. I want to thank all the Balfour staff and everyone who has offered me help and support, because this job is not one you can do well alone. When those tough days come, and they're gonna come, a very, very wise woman told me, find your marigolds. Those teachers are people in your life who help cover those holes and help fill your cup and not take away from it. We all need events sometimes, but we also don't want to be known as a person who complains all the time either. Find a solution, and if you can't, look to your marigolds that can help. Surround yourself with coworkers and people who are going to remind you that it's going to be okay, all is well, and you can do this. Good luck to another year of ever growing and improving. Thank you.